next up, we got Nurse Vivian. Where are you at?
Oh. Hi, Dr.
Hey, what's
Z.
up?
Hi, I'm doing well. How are you?
So, Nurse Vivian, you were in which course?
I was also in the August and September one.
All right, so I want everyone just to take a moment right now to realize the two people that I've interviewed, or that I'm about to interview again, is from the most recent course. And we had people in that course, Nurse Vivian, Nurse Sharina will attest to this. I think about a week into the course, we had somebody starting to pass, and on like literally a weekend. And now you guys are already just barely out and will already into this, and it's like August, September course, and we're still in September. Like, and y'all are already passing. So, Nurse Vivian, what did you think about the course?
Part of me feels like it really is what you make out of it. My story was also kind of interesting too, because I'll kind of like give a really brief overview because I know we have to get into content, right? That's like the meaty part
Right.
of the weekly Zooms. But I had initially took my first, so I did a 15-month ABSN program. So in those programs, everything's really accelerated. And I feel like it's a lot of like learning on your own. So when I came out of graduation, like I felt like I knew stuff, but I didn't feel like I knew enough, if that makes sense. Like, especially for the boards where there's just, you could be tested on anything. It was very overwhelming. And I feel like I had always been a good student, but I didn't even know where to start. So I took my first, I think, year-old assessment. And then, so I took it that day, scored borderline, and I was like freaking out because I had actually interviewed for a job at NYU Langone in New York the day before I graduated, and then heard back that Tuesday, which was the Tuesday before the weekly Zoom, that I got the position. So it was one of those things like I had to pass, and there was really no other option, because if I didn't pass, then I don't know what would have happened to the job. So I took the year-old exam, was borderline, and then I ended up joining like this course. And I remember it was like the musculoskeletal gout one that you taught I think like a month ago or so. And then after that, I was like, I learned so much in a short span of 30 minutes that I was like, I need to do it. And if I know people are asking in the chat, like, is it too late to join? I literally joined the class after it had started, and then just took the time to catch up on my own. And so like back to like, I think it's really what you put into it, but I don't know, it was amazing. Like, I just feel really grateful. Similar to Shreen too, I used everything. Like in the shower, I was listening to the podcast. When I was driving, I was listening to the podcast. When I was cooking, I was listening to the podcast. And I think it's kind of like the repetitive doing the live course, but then supplementing that with everything else that was available online. And like I would be in the test and remember things that you would say. And it's like not an active, like thinking about it, like, oh yeah, I remember Dr. Z talked about this, like Megan mentioned this. So it was amazing. I think for sure the best investment. It took me, I think, like 2 hours after the weekly Zoom for the gout to decide like I was going to do it. And then from there, in the span of 3 weeks, right before we finished, I think, the live course, I actually ended up moving my NCLEX a week and a half up because I felt that confident.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you went the opposite way. Usually it's cool, like push it back, but you pushed it forward.
Right.
Great. Yeah.
Right. So I like a hardcore study for I think 3.5 weeks. Like really took it seriously, canceled a lot of like weekend plans, but that's cool. And then I mean it worked out, right?
Yeah.
It worked out. So in the span of 3.5 weeks, I took my second year-old exam like a few days before I decided to move up my exam, and was my chance of passing was high.
Right.
So it was just like not even a month, and then just doing the live course, like really studying and taking the time to spend with with you and like the entire group helped a lot.
Right. And so this was your this was your first attempt?
My first.
Yeah. So you really like so you didn't take a chance. You were like, you know what, I'm going to do this because I can't mess up this job, and you went with it. And you started after.
That's the thing that I think like doing the live course and having access to the on-demand was actually so helpful, Dr. Z, because I think like you can go back and review things that I wasn't as strong on, but then I felt comfortable starting it later because I could catch up on my own time.
Exactly.
So it worked out actually really well. Like, I think it's more if you put the right attitude and the mindset into like putting in the work, like it's for sure doable.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And then on top of that, how many questions were you?
75. So I I literally did everything to a T. Like I at home, like I know Dr. Z said this, but I guess with the new with NCLEX now, apparently you don't have to wear a mask. But I literally was at home at my kitchen table where I'm at right now, would wear my mask to take my 40 questions. I would take 40 questions on World. I would take like a 3 to 5 minute break, would time myself, and then go back and do 40 questions, and then take a break, and then do another 40. So I never did 116 a day because I think it was just like I was like brain overload, but 120 a day and then studying all the rationals after definitely helped.
Well, you know, and I say this all the time. I do the 440s because I want you to build stamina. But if you're doing, you know,
Hmm.
340s and you're still sitting there and studying for like 2 or 3 more hours, you still have the stamina, right? Ultimately,
Right,
you're still sitting there and focused for a very long time. So
right.
that's
And I
amazing.
did that in the test too. Like I turned off my timer on my questions so I didn't feel like rushed. But at 40, I stopped and went to the bathroom and took a break. And then at my like as I was getting closer to 75, I was like, okay, I'm close. So I would like look at it and then turn it off. And then when I knew it was 75, I took it and then it stopped and went to the next gen questions. And I was like,
Oh,
oh my God, I either did really well or I did really bad.
no, you know, it's becoming more and more of a trend. Obviously, we saw that Nurse Sharina had 78 and out. You had 75 and out. We're starting to see a trend that, you know, I always say going with the mentality of 145, but you know,
Right.
starting to see a lot of students that are hitting that, you know, a little bit closer to that 75 mark because we provide so much content and information and constantly evolving. So, what is your advice for people on the other side, Nurse Vivian?
You know, I think something that I really took to heart that my friend actually shared with me for I took was like really to stay calm. I know for me, like the nerves were really bad. Um, but I think going into it, I kind of just took the mindset of like all of us have studied so hard and you literally just need to, all you know and really just do your best. And I think I had like about 70% of SATA questions too, like Sharina. And like, I mean,
Wow.
of course there were some that we didn't know, but we used the
But
method, go through
yeah,
each one and it worked. So
so any last words for the people on the other side, Nurse Vivian?
nope, just know that everyone's gonna pass. I have full confidence and I highly recommend the course. Like I literally told my best nursing friend group, like everyone about it. Listen to all of the free Spotify's, just use all of the resources online and trust yourself because everyone will do really well.
There you go. All right, Nurse Vivian, thank you so much for sharing your story.